Okay, welcome back to Football Kings. I'm Kingsley and I'm with my brother Andrew. And this is Football Kings. Football Kings is a podcast where me and my brother talk about football from different competitions and different leagues. Um, Speaking about the Premier League, match week 20 is wrapping up. I guess just a few teams
I've played
left.
20.
I've played
Some still have
20.
19. Yeah.
Yeah, some people still have 19, but
Yeah.
um, so far a lot of crazy things have happened with the games that have been played, right? Let's
Yeah.
talk about the Nottingham Forest, Manchester United. So normally like Manchester United always beat Nottingham Forest. This is a normal thing. The last time that Nottingham Forest won Man U was probably almost 30 years ago, almost 30 after 29.
1994 was the last time.
Yeah. So that's like almost 30 years, right? That's almost 30 years. Um,
Is it 30 or
yeah,
29?
29. So next year
Mm.
makes it 30, right? So 29. Um, Crazy. So looking at that game, from game to game, everybody's always like, we're not sure what Manchester United will turn up, right? We've talked about
Mm.
the inconsistency of Man U. Um,
Yeah.
they had a brilliant win against Aston Villa,
Yeah.
which were losing in the first half. They're always not great in their first half, but they
Yeah.
find a way to pull through in the second half. Maybe Ten Hag's halftime team talks kind of get to them. They come back stronger, get in the
Mm.
game, or something just works in their favor and they either
Yeah.
win. And we saw this in the last game Nottingham Forest played at Old Trafford, right? They were winning
Yeah.
Man U, but Man U
Mm.
found a way to get back into the game and they won. But this
Yeah.
time around, it was very, very different, right? What are your
Yeah.
thoughts? What are your thoughts on the game and the Man U squad?
First of all, I need to just rant about Ten Hag. I'm I'm totally pissed off with him. Like totally pissed off because first
Mm,
of all, everyone was excited with the
yeah,
Aston Villa comeback and all of that.
yeah.
It just shows that they've not really turned a new leaf
They've
in the
not,
sense
yeah.
that in the sense that he has not still in terms of he's
Hmm.
still a bit confused with what is happening. But I'll say in that game,
Yeah.
the question I have for Ten Hag was
Hmm.
is rather he might be celebrating Happy New Year now. Who cares, right?
Yeah.
Why do you take off Kobe Mino at halftime? Like what was the reasoning behind that? Like I don't still get it.
I get why he did that, but it
Why?
cost them. It cost them, right? The
What
reason
was
why
the reason? Yeah.
so he removed Kobe because Kobe was like very deep and very defensive, and he brought in McTominay
Okay.
to be very offensive so he can score.
Offensive.
That was
Okay.
what he
But
was.
no, nobody, we are not saying you should not bring in McTominay if you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
attack.
Hmm.
But there were so many, there are like two useless people I can pick from that first half. Yes, it's not a laughing, you're laughing, but it's not a laughing
No,
matter.
no, I'm
That
listening.
first half alone,
Yeah.
Anthony was like in fact, they should have filed a missing report person for Anthony. He
Hmm.
was not in that game.
Yeah.
He was not no productivity, nothing
Hmm.
from Anthony.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? As
Yeah.
a forward man, wide man, I didn't see him make any run. I didn't see him. He's not
Even
even in the
cross.
last
Did he even cross?
since
Sorry.
April. Since April, Anthony has not had any input into Man U's team. Why is he still starting? That's the
Mm.
question I have for him. So he could have removed Anthony and bring in McTominay. Then you still have Minu who will provide. You see, in the first minute of the game, if you noticed,
Hmm.
Nottingham Forest, you see what they did, the goals that they scored Man U, it looks rehearsed.
Mm.
Because in the first minute of the game, they had similar opportunity, the similar setup where they
Yeah.
square it into somebody's in the
Yeah.
center of the box. It
Hmm.
was even the same Dominguez that scored, that had that opportunity. What was the difference? The
Yeah.
difference was Manu was the person there to make that block.
To block it, yeah.
Now you remove that guy
Hmm.
that is kind of like shielding those four people you have at the back in front
Yeah.
of a keeper that is non-existent, right? You
Hmm.
remove that block.
Hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I get you, yeah.
You leave yourself, and I didn't feel like he played badly.
He played very well.
Exactly. Then
He
why do you
was he
remove one of your
was
best
he
players?
was disturbing the play from Nottingham Forest. He was
Yes, you
single
now
person
remove one
breaking
of
the
your
play.
best players and leave your worst player on the pitch,
Mm. But
right?
you know the funny thing. The funny thing is
Yeah.
he starts Anthony in the first half, and after in the second half, and after 8 minutes into the second half, he removes Anthony, right? So I guess he realized that keeping Anthony
Anthony
just
was injured.
that was the reason why he took him off.
Yes, if not, maybe Anthony would have played 80
Oh,
minutes.
I didn't
Anthony
know
was
that.
injured.
I didn't know that was his reason for removing Anthony.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. But that's quite interesting because the sub you said made sense. Remove Anthony, make
And
Garnacho
bring
play the other side, bring
you
in
don't even need to move Garnacho to where
mm.
Anthony
So
is.
who plays on that wing?
Even what's his name? Fernandez can play from the wing if you wanted
Oh,
Fernandez.
Bruno
But
Fernandez,
him
yeah.
and him and him and McTominay can be switching
Can be
position. The
interchanging,
thing is
yeah.
that you want McTominay to be in the box. You want McTominay to score.
Yeah,
Let him be switching with Fernandez up
yeah,
front.
yeah.
And the main point is McTominay will find himself in the box. Who is
Yeah.
going to give him that pass? Is actually
Mm.
Fernandez or
Yeah,
maybe
and
Garnacho?
Fernandez can play that side. But what of Ericsson? Ericsson was in the game. What did you think about Ericsson in the game?
Ericsson look tired,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
I was
it's
even
not like
thinking remove Ericsson and bring in McTominay and
that's another
keep
person
like
I said,
yeah
yeah, that
keep
was not really
mhm,
performing, the two of them.
keep
But
Kobe.
the thing is that Ericsson, you can't really, how do I say it now? Anthony's
He's
case was worse.
yeah.
Ericsson can pop up and give you one crazy pass that needs to
Yes.
go.
Yeah.
Anthony, you know this guy is not going to give you anything.
Okay.
If we leave Anthony for the next 3 hours playing, Anthony is not going to give an assist. He's
Is
not
this
going to
a is
do
this a
anything.
problem of the player or is this a problem of the coach's instruction, right? Because I know everybody has to play off the coach's instruction. So
Someone,
what kind
someone,
of game is
someone,
Ten Hag
someone made that
playing?
comment that it might be the coach telling him, but I don't buy that. You know why?
Why?
They brought in is it Ahmad off the bench,
Ahmad, yeah.
and you see the difference in play.
Mm-hmm.
After 2 minutes, this guy had like a shot. He tested the Nottingham Forest keeper.
Yeah.
After like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And Anthony has been in the game for 60 minutes. The
Mm.
only thing Anthony does in games is to lose the ball. Then the next thing, he's trying to run back and goes to ground early. When you're trying to defend, they're trying to track back. They've collected the ball from you. You're trying to track back. You now go to ground too early. Obviously, the guy will carry the ball and keep running.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony has that fault, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Anthony was just non-existent, I'll say.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
What
And
was your
the first half alone,
mm-hmm.
the expected goals from Man U was 0.04. 0.04. Do you believe that?
You know, the funny thing about the first half is Man U had no highlights in the first half. It was all Nottingham Forest.
That's what I'm
The whole
saying.
first
Like
half.
0.04.
Mm.
Nottingham Forest XG was low.
Mm-hmm.
But Nottingham Forest XG was around maybe 0.8 something.
The funny thing is like that game, Nottingham Forest, it's just because they're an average team because Nottingham Forest should have beaten Man U more with more goals. It's just because they are just an average team, right? They just could
Even
not
even
finish
the
some
even the goal
chances.
even the goal Rashford scored was because of the keeper. He's not good with
It,
his legs.
it's because of
His
mistakes from the
distribution
keeper.
is horrible.
Yeah, his distribution was very
Right?
poor. Matona's distribution is just horrible.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
kicks it
But
out.
at this point now, in terms of Ten Hag, do you know there's a kind of like I speak to different Man U fans.
Mm-hmm.
Some will say, "Oh, Ten Hag has to go,"
Mm-hmm.
right? And there are some that will say, "Give Ten Hag more time." Where do you stand on both?
I don't believe Ten Hag should go, right?
Why?
Why? I think okay. I like to look at when he first came, right? I look at
Yeah,
last season. Ten Hag did not have a
yeah,
bad last season. In as much as we might say, oh Man U this, Man U that, Ten Hag didn't have a bad last season. He had a good season. He won them
yeah,
Carabao Cup. Maybe not the standard of what you expect Man U to be, but
yeah,
he came in his first season. He won them a cup, and they went to Champions League, right? The outcome
yeah,
of Champions League was just poor, right? You can say injuries affected them, but it was bad. But if you look at this season again, right, in as much as Man U is not even doing well, Man U is still picking up points here and there. Scrappy, scrappy, scrappy. They are moving.
Yeah.
They are moving up the table slowly but surely, right? And at the end of the day, I won't be surprised if Man U finishes fifth at the end of the day this season. I'm actually expecting them to finish fifth this season and go to Europa, right? That's my
Wait, seriously, you think Man U finish fifth?
yeah, hell yeah. Man U will finish fifth. Man
Oh
U will
my
climb.
God.
Man U would climb. Man U and West Ham will compete for
Okay,
that.
let me ask you this
Yeah.
question.
Mm-hmm.
Between Tottenham and Man U, who do you think will finish higher above each
Oh,
other?
I said fifth. Sorry, sixth. I meant sixth.
Okay, let me
Because
now
Man U
ask
is
you.
seven right now. Sixth. I
Okay, you
mean,
believe
yeah,
Man U finish sixth.
yeah.
Between Aston Villa and Man U, who do you think will finish higher?
Oh, Aston Villa will finish higher than Man U, right?
And Tottenham
But
will finish higher
than Man U, yes. So that leaves that
then
sixth.
Man U can finish sixth.
Why did you say that? Because Man U
Yeah,
is
it's
seven right
7th
now.
now.
No, Man U is
Okay,
seven
Aston
right
Villa is
now.
in top
He's
4.
in top four, yeah. So Man U
Okay,
can finish
I
sixth. He
get.
can finish sixth. So that's
True,
what
true, true,
that's my
true.
expectation, right? Out of all
Yeah,
the old guys there, Man U can be the
yeah,
next person there. And the thing is this, right? I just feel like if he had better players, right, maybe his tactics might work. Maybe we might understand what his
yeah.
tactics is, right?
Anyways, one thing.
The players are
I,
too
I'm,
average. They are too bad.
I'm kind of like I'm fed up of coaches using injuries as excuse.
Yeah. It's not an
Right?
excuse.
But
Everybody faces injuries.
it's not it's an
Yeah.
excuse and it's not an
And it's not an
excuse.
excuse. You have to have a plan,
Right?
right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Tottenham were hit badly. Hit badly. When I mean badly.
Really bad.
In fact, their own injury stuff was really bad.
Really, really bad.
That they are using the people they are using as their center backs. No team in top 6. And I repeat, no team in top 6 will you in fact, even the bottom teams will not even use those guys as Davis as center back, and they're using a right back as center back. Oh my God, no.
Yeah.
I don't think.
But we need to
Right?
understand that Tottenham have a
And
very good keeper. Vicario is actually very, very good. And he has saved them so many times.
Times.
You
It's
understand?
true. Yeah.
Onana
That's
is
the
not
point.
saving Man U.
Okay.
Onana is
So
not
now
saving Man U.
that begs the point now, right? Onana is Ten Hag signing.
That's
Anthony is Ten Hag signing. So
That's the
would you
thing.
say Ten Hag is the cause of what is happening this season?
Yes.
Based on
Based on his signings. So
yes.
But the thing is this, you can't fully blame him 90% for like 80% for his signings. Because if you look at Onana, everybody expected Onana to come to Man U and perform. Even I had that expectation based off Onana's performance in Champions League, right? Who would have thought Inter Milan, who would have thought Onana would come to Man U and then just flop? It just was unexpected. He has had a bad season so far. Anthony, when Anthony first came to Man U, let's be honest, we were all scared. Anthony came in and banged goals, like cutting into the wings. I've been watching him, right? His initial games at Man U, cutting, scored. Everybody was like, Anthony's going to be on fire. And then all of a sudden, he just dropped in tempo.
Yeah.
So that's why I still feel like I don't blame Ten Hag. Let's look at Anthony at Ajax. He was killing it, right? So I don't blame him for saying the only signing I blame Ten Hag for was missing Mount. I don't see why he brought in Mount. That was a bad signing. But even with that, right, Arteta signed Kai Havertz, and Kai Havertz is picking up form, right? He's slowly catching form.
Yeah.
So where do we draw the line between expectation that we have of a player and outcome, right? Because in terms of expectation, Ten Hag went after people with an expectation and with a tactic in mind, right?
Yeah.
The outcome is just poor. The outcome is just not given, right? So that's why I feel like I personally don't think Ten Hag should go.
Okay. Another question I have for you, right? Elanga. I had a chat with a Man U fan today.
Yeah.
About Elanga. I had a chat about a Man U fan yesterday about Elanga. And both of them, they don't know each other. In fact, one is based in the US, one is based, I don't know, in Australia.
Yeah.
But their standpoint on Elanga is the same.
What is the standpoint?
that Elanga is not that level, that Man U level.
Yeah, he's not.
He's not a big team player.
Yeah.
Right. And I think on this podcast, in the first few games, I've always been complaining of Elanga in Nottingham Forest.
I'm not good enough for Man U, but I'm good enough for Nottingham Forest.
Good enough for Nottingham Forest, sort of.
Yeah.
So what is your and why I'm mentioning this is because of Anthony.
Yeah, okay.
Because
I see where you're going.
Right now,
yeah,
even as bad as Elanga is for not some of the bad games he's had for Nottingham Forest, he's still giving more outputs than Anthony.
Do you know the funny thing? The funny thing is, before I touch on Elanga, let me touch on one thing. Do you know that in the Aston Villa game, right, they played Garnacho on one side, Rashford on the other side, and it worked.
And it worked on the right-hand side.
On the right-hand side.
Garnacho was on the right.
And it worked. Garnacho can play the right way.
Right. I was even surprised.
He banged in 2 goals from that side. 2 goals. Yeah, it's clinical. Yeah. Garnacho is better than Elanga as a player, right?
Obviously. No. I'm not talking of Garnacho. Garnacho.
No. I'm just saying. I'm just showing you the quality. I'm just showing you the quality.
Okay.
Now, let's now talk about Elanga. Elanga as a player is
okay. You know the funny thing. the Man U person I chatted with, I spoke with today, use the Garnacho as an example.
Exactly, because that would be what you compare him with. Because if Elanga is in the squad, will you be starting Elanga ahead of Garnacho? Will you be starting Elanga ahead of Rashford? No, that will not happen, right? It will be hard, but then given the injury.
But do you start him ahead of Anthony?
Yes. Given the injuries and the performance of Anthony, you start him ahead of Anthony, right? You'll be bringing him off the bench. But Elanga was not getting minutes at Man U, and that's why he came to Nottingham Forest, right? To be a starter, right? And it's only up to recently that we've really been seeing Elanga improve game to game, right? It's right now that Elanga is really getting better, because before you get the ball, he's not really going anywhere with the ball.
No outputs. Yeah, right.
Output. But now you are seeing Elanga like have that output of like, okay, I'll pass.
And the thing is that I know, in as much as we need to also praise Nuno.
Yeah.
Right. I know it's his first 10 games is new manager bounce.
Yeah.
But that said, the way Nuno sets Nottingham Forest up is totally different to the way Steve Cooper set them up. And remember, before Steve Cooper was sacked, I said this, and I said,
he said it.
Steve Cooper needs to revert to what saved him in this league.
Yes.
Right? Yes. And I'm really surprised. Elanga is playing.
Nuno impressed me. He impressed me with the way he set them up. Who is Dominguez? I've not really seen. Dominguez was not really getting some starting time.
That's what I'm saying.
Under Steve Cooper.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Dominguez is here doing crazy things. Almost scored a volley that Kobe Mainoo had to nod out, because Onana was not going anywhere near that ball, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
So they started with Montreal, Nketia,
Niekate, I think.
Niekate, Morillo.
Niekate is the one with the long throws. Yeah,
long throw. Then I know. So Montreal is also an Argentine, but has not really had like regular stats, right?
Yeah.
It's always been Ori, right? And in the middle, Danilo
Oria is better than Montiel, though. Oria is better than Montiel.
So Danilo has always been there, but has been in and out of the squad. Yates came in today because Sankare is suspended.
Yeah.
But the bold scene that Nuno made in his first 2 games was to drop Yates. Right?
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest boy to the core. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Captain of the side. You now drop him to the bench for Sangare. But that Sangare is much better.
Yeah. I think
in terms of
I think Nuno
blocking the back for the distribution is much better. But Yates has to come in, right? There's no other person. Then you have Morgan Gibbs White.
Yeah, Gibbs White good.
Which is a surprise to us.
It's a big surprise, right?
And Elanga on one side, right?
Yeah.
And up front, we know our guy Chris Wood.
Yeah. So I think Nuno used this couple games to kind of like test the squad to see who is good in what position. Like get out his first 11, right?
Yeah.
And then set them up and know this is who I want to be playing with, and then be subbing people in different positions. I think the biggest problem with Man U, to be honest, I feel is the players don't step up. That's the truth. It's all the players. And this is the reason. It's the players because they are not a team. They
You
are not
think
a,
so?
they are not a team. They are individuals that are just playing. They are not a team.
But that goes back to the coach now, right? The coach is meant to set them up that they play for each other,
There's only
create a good culture.
create a good culture. The coach can
Yeah.
only do so much, but the players need to pull themselves together. There needs to be that leadership amongst the players. They are lacking that a lot. Who is the leader? Is it Bruno Fernandes? Like, who is the leader in the dressing room? Who is the
Johnny
person?
Evans.
Who is the person pulling people together?
Johnny
And funny
Evans.
enough, Johnny Evans has been leading that backline and been doing some great work since he came,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's not enough. The backline is looking good. Their backline is quite decent. They are not horrible at the back. Dalo surprise.
It's
Dalo
not as bad. It's
not
not
as
as bad
bad.
as Tottenham's back line.
It's not as bad. They've been doing okay.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
keeper, the
yeah.
keeper is a problem right now. He's not
And
stepping.
the funny thing.
Mhm.
I think of the second goal that was conceded by Onana, and I've seen their previous keeper make those kind of
Those
saves
kind of
before,
saves. Yes.
where you swing the ball and you just is there,
Just is there to
and people will be
dive and
like,
catch it. Like that was
what just
mad.
happened here?
Yeah.
So he makes those times. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
I mean Onana will go for AFCON, right? Even if he's trying to delay. He doesn't want to go.
Oh, you heard about the delay?
Yeah, he's trying to delay and not really go, but he will still go. I mean, we'll see their second keeper and how he does. And if he does better than Onana, my advice is starting my head of Onana, right? Because this is not a thing of sentiment.
Do you think Ten Hag will swallow his pride
And starting me ahead of Onana.
and drop, like, let's say the second keeper comes in, is excellent. Do you think he will swallow his pride and keep using the second keeper even when Onana is back?
I don't think so, but he has to. Because at this point, it's like, what else? Do I risk all of this conceding? Because players are scoring. Look at Champions League. They were beating Galatasaray. Conceded again. Onana, simple balls you catch. Really, that's the basics of a keeper. So that's the problem. The players, once they can sort out that backline is sort out that keeper, that midfield, they need to sort it out a little bit more, right?
Okay.
Play Rashford one side, Garnacho one side, Rasmus Højlund up front, right?
He was sick, so
He
he
was
could
sick,
not
he couldn't
play.
start, right?
Yeah.
And figure out that midfield. They need to figure out that midfield. But